Anna Hazare continues to dominate proceedings. Now headlines today, editor investigations. Harinder Braveja spoke to Anna's aide and civil rights activist Prashant Bhushan. Bhushan is still adamant that the Lokpal Bill should be presented in the parliament in its original form. Let's listen in.
Team Anna has won the battle of brinkmanship, but the real fight begins now. What next in this agitation? Joining me to discuss this and more, senior Supreme Court lawyer Prashant Bhushan, who is also a key aide of Anna Hazare. Prashant, the question now is what next? Because what are your specific demands? Can you tell us 1, 2, 3? What is the baseline and what is negotiable and what is non-negotiable as far as the Jan Lokpal Bill goes?
You see, we must understand that ultimately the bill, of course, will have to be passed by Parliament. The demand of Anna Hazare is that the government should place table in Parliament a bill which has all the main principles in the Jan Lokpal Bill and withdraw this fraudulent bill which the government has tabled, which is really a promotion of corruption bill in the guise of a Lokpal Bill. So once a proper bill incorporating the major principles of the Jan Lokpal Bill are tabled in Parliament, then thereafter, of course, ultimately the Parliament will have to pass the law. Whether they will pass it as it is or whether they will have some amendments to it. But we hope that the members of Parliament, while voting and deciding on it, will hear the voice of the people.
So are you saying that you're not going to insist, for example, on the Prime Minister being included under the ambit of the Lokpal? Are you also saying then that the lower bureaucracy, it's okay if they're not included, if the CBC and the CVC are not made, answerable to the Lokpal?
No, we are saying that the bill that the government should table should be incorporating all the major principles in the Jan Lokpal Bill, which includes inclusion of the Prime Minister, judiciary, having the entire bureaucracy within its ambit, having a provision for Lokayuks in the states, having a provision for protecting whistleblowers, for grievance redressal also. These principles should be incorporated in the bill which is tabled by the government in Parliament, and thereafter let the Parliament debate that bill and pass it with whatever amendments they consider appropriate. But as I said, we hope that the members of Parliament, while doing that, will hear the voice of the people of this country.
You already know from experience that the government has not heard the voice of the people. You had a joint drafting committee, but in the end, they only tabled their version. So are you saying you trust the very same government now?
It's not a question of trusting. We can only bring moral pressure to bear on the government and arouse the conscience of people in the government, of people in Parliament, as well as the people of this country. To the extent that this pressure that we are bringing to bear through Anna's fast works, it will be good for the nation, victory for the people, victory for the country. If it doesn't work, we can't help it. We can't point a gun at the head of the government or Parliament and force them. I mean, some people have said that you are pointing a gun. This is not a gun. This is only a moral appeal. I mean, a fast is only a moral appeal to people, and it succeeds only to the extent that the person who is making that appeal and the intrinsic merit of that appeal arouses the conscience of those people.